What is up, friends? Rob here, the Medicare minister, and I'm back with a brand new Spitting Fire interview for all of you. And today I got my boy, Matt Temmen. Matt, will you say what's up to everyone real quickly?
What's up, everybody? I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, I know Matt's going to spit some fire for us today and is going to share with us a little of his story. And he is an up and coming leader in our insurance industry and can't wait to hear what he's going to bring. But before we do that, as always, I want to remind all of you to like, to subscribe, to comment below. That way you're alerted to every time we drop a Spitting Fire interview. Every Wednesday we do that, as well as the fresh content that we put out weekly. Because here's the ultimate goal, friends. We want you to be motivated, inspired. We want to put fresh wind in your sails. And I truly believe this is one of my life passions. I want you to see that you deserve to win. So Matt, I know you're a busy guy, man. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time this morning, and look forward to what you're going to share with us today.
Absolutely, man. Again, just happy to be here. I appreciate you asking me on.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited for you. So tell us a little bit about your story. I know I've watched some interviews with you, but give us that Sports Center highlight version. Tell us, where you're from, if you're married, got any kids, maybe a little bit of your background and how you got started in the industry that you're in now.
Yeah, so I grew up in a town of about 300 people called Westphalia, Missouri. And so on a farm, my parents own about 500 acres. And so people ask me, where'd you get your work ethic from? And that's where I got it. So like on Saturdays when all my friends were out, playing baseball or doing what, on the lake or whatever, like I didn't get to do that stuff. I was on the farm, I was working cattle, doing all that stuff. A lot of people don't see that in me. They don't see that I'm a farm boy, but I am.
Yeah.
So, lived there for the first 18 years of my life. Came down to Springfield, Missouri, which is where I live now for college. Didn't make it very far with the college stuff, only about a year and a half, and actually got into insurance right after that. So I was 21 at the time. Started out with a very heavy life focused IMO. Was traveling all over the place for mortgage protection. So, in Springfield, we just couldn't get the leads that I was looking for. So I was going to Milwaukee and Dallas and
Wow.
Omaha, Nebraska, and really having to go out there to make it happen. And, life insurance, there's a lot of upfront money. So I was making good money, but I just knew that I'd have to keep doing it over and over and over again. And I know, Rob, you're probably preaching that, and Justin's preaching it. And that's why I got into Medicare. So about a year and a half, I had a team on the life side, and we transitioned to the Medicare space, and we're never going to switch back. I mean, it's been awesome for myself, for my team, for my staff. It's just been great. And so the biggest thing that I've seen is on the life side, it's one thing to put up business, but on the life side, there's a lot of costs involved with the lead flow, and then also a lot of chargebacks. And so with that, I saw my agents not making the money I wanted them to make, right? Well, what does that mean for if your agents aren't making money, what are they going to do? They ain't going to be around much longer.
Right.
And what does that mean for your team? It's not good. It can lead to roll up debt.
Yeah.
And so on the Medicare side, man, even though there's not as much upfront money, I've seen the profitability of my agents just explode. And some of my best friends are in this business with me, and they're making incredible money at 23, 24, 25 years old. It's been great. It's been awesome.
So how old are you currently?
I am 24.
24. Got you a team. How many agents you got, if you don't mind me asking?
So writing agents were around 35 writing agents.
Wow.
It takes a lot more to contract. We probably contracted 110, 120
Yep.
to get there. But we're probably around 40 writing agents in there.
And the only reason I ask this is because there will be people that watch this from various industries, and they may say, well, I'm not old enough to have success, and you're 24 years old, got these agents. What do you mind sharing? What kind of numbers are you on track to do this year within your agency and your agents?
Yeah, so this year we'll probably do. We're very Medicare Advantage focused. That is what we sell. Almost like I sell a little bit more Med Sup on my end,
Sure.
but I think we'll do about between 3,000 and 3,200 Medicare Advantage policies this year as a group.
Yeah.
Last year I did quite a few policies. That's kind of dipped off because I've been focusing on the agency and traveling around the U.S. trying to help these guys.
Yeah.
I'll probably be in the 250 policy range this year. So only about 20 a month, nothing crazy. Of like actual MAPDs, and then the ancillaries come after that. But yeah, we'll be 3,000 to 3,200 MAs this year.
Congrats to you, man. And so I want to go back because this whole podcast is about success principles, right? As I told you before we came on, there's a lot of people that are doing the 10 strategies to do this and that, and that's great. But I love the work ethic part. You said I grew up on a farm and it really instilled in me work ethic. So why has that been so important to your overall success, the work ethic part?
So with developing agents, in my head, there's this upline agent relationship, right? And
Yep.
so the agent has to give, but also the upline has to give. And so a lot of uplines just want to sit and collect overrides, and it's great, and live life and go to the beach. And that is part of it. That's why I do what I do. I want to do that. But I know that if I want to develop agents, I need to go to them. So I like last week I was in Utah. You know what I was doing in Utah? Yes, I did some hiking, but I was doing ride-alongs with agents. This week, I'm in Springfield now, but I was up in Kansas City again, ride-alongs, making things happen. Next week, I'm going to Dallas for 8%, but then I'll be going to Orlando with a new final expense agency I just brought on. So I am going to them to make it happen. And guess what that does? This business upline agent relationship, people won't leave you if there's a relationship and they know that you care. And if they know that you care, they're going to stick with you. Like I've had, again, contracted 120, 130 agents. I've only had 2 ever leave me because I have a relationship with my agents. I always pick up the phone. I'm there for them. It doesn't matter when it is. I'm going to pick up and I'm going to be there for them. But and then also I see this a lot. Just a lot of agents are not willing to do what it takes long enough. Like they might do something for a week or a month or a quarter, but they will not do it for a year or 2 or 5. And I can't even say I would do it for 5. I haven't been in the industry for 5 years. So I don't, well, hopefully I do, right? But it's just the consistency over time is all that it is, and just doing the deal every day.
Bro, you spitting some fire early on. So I want to go back here real quickly. I love what you said. And one of my favorite life coaches is John Maxwell. I read from his daily reader pretty much every day. I preach a lot of his stuff, but he says people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I believe a lot of uplines, IMOs, FMOs, whatever O you are, right? There's so many different terms there, is agents are never going to follow you unless they know that you genuinely care about their success. And I believe that has been a very anemic part of our industry. And speaking of the insurance industries, that, like you said, they want to collect the overrides, but they don't want to do what it takes to empower their agents and really care about their overall success. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. And so I have, there's been some situations where agents are shopping IMOs, and I'm always cool with that because
Sure.
I want my agents to know what's out there. I want them to know, like, I don't I offer street level commissions, like on, life side, maybe like 120s, MAPDs, just straight 21, 22% on med subs to start. And then there's upward mobility from there. Well, some agencies will offer higher than that. And I just ask them, look, here's what happens when agents work with me. Okay. I pick up the phone. I am there for them. I will ride along with you. I will be there for you. Maybe they're offering 10 points more, but 10% higher on $0 of production is still $0.
Yep.
Right? My
Yep.
agents, when they work with me, they produce.
Yeah.
And that, I can tell you, that will win 90. And I mean that. I don't just say it. I mean it. I put it into action. But
Yeah.
that will win 90 to 95.
Yeah.
I've won a lot of agents over with that.
Yeah, and I like the other thing you said too, is you put your money where your mouth is, right? You're traveling, you're investing time, you're showing them that no one's going to out hustle me. And I've always been a firm believer in this, as someone who's been in ministry for over 20 years, led organizations as well, is I tell people, you'll never out hustle me, because ultimately your people will emulate what you do. And if you're lazy, you will breed a lazy organization, right? If you're complacent, that will bleed over into your other agents. So I love what you're doing there, man. You're showing up, you're flying to other states, you're investing in them, you're empowering them. And the only thing you can do is that, and then the rest is up to them. And it sounds like you're having a lot of success with that. But one thing too is I love what you're saying about the relationship side. That's one thing we do here in Tupelo at our brick and mortar is every day, man, we're inspiring and we're motivating and we're encouraging. And some people, they're haters. They're, oh, that's cliche, that's cheesy. But what I have found is that when people really know that they're loved and cared about, man, that's why we're doing 80 to 100 apps a week here out of this brick and mortar.
Dude, I could not agree with you more. So initially when I started recruiting, I thought it was all about the numbers. It's all about the comp. It's all about the systems.
Sure.
It's all about the marketing. And that stuff's important.
Yep.
That's something we've really gotten good at. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not the most important thing. When
Mm-hmm.
agents call me, and I say this with a grain of salt, they just want someone to talk to.
Yep.
I am telling you, like I am a professional. If I should get a degree in therapy because
Yeah,
man,
man.
I do it every day. And agents, they just want someone to be there for them that's been through it, that's
Sure.
done it before them, because I don't tell my agents to do anything that I haven't done or will not do with them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just want someone to support them, someone who can tell them that they can do it, because what are they not getting out there, right? They're not getting that. They may not have a supportive spouse. They may not have a supportive brother, sister, friend. Well,
Yeah.
I will be that support for them. They just need to hear it from someone,
Yeah.
and
And
that goes a long way.
listen, guys, he's spitting some fire. Bigger contracts doesn't mean equal greater success, right?
Totally.
I personally would take a lower contract in our industry if I had someone that I could have a relationship with. So remember that. I see, so like you said, I see so many agents falling for that. Oh, I want big contracts, but big contracts doesn't always equal great rewards. I'm preaching to the choir, but that's basically what you were saying, and I've seen it also as well. And there's so many companies out there that push the numbers, but the relationship side sucks, right? They're not truly there to support.
Well, and I can, it's like a almost a black and white where I have put agents at like the high final expense levels, 130, 135 and upwards from there. And like for whatever reason, and I'll even support, like I'm not, it's not that I don't support those people, but they just fizzle out and they never
Mhm.
produce.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe I put them at a 120 or I don't really want to get into contract levels, and that's not what this call is about, but it's so weird, man. It is so weird.
Yeah, it's weird because ultimately it's up to them, right? You can only do so much, but I have found that if you create that good soil, and get this right and get this right, it's interesting how, I mean, as I told you before we got on the call, our whole brick and mortar team is primarily rookies. I have a rookie team, but we're still crushing it. Why? I truly believe a lot of it is the system. Yes, Justin and all of our team have put together a good system, but I also believe it's because we get the headspace right. They know that I genuinely care. They know they can come in here and talk to me. They know that I'll be there for them after work. We go to the movies together. We hang out together and go to eat. We build that relationship because I want them to know that they're affirmed, that I just love them and that I care about them, like their overall success, whether that's with us or with someone else. It doesn't matter, man. There's plenty to go around for everyone. So I appreciate you sharing that work ethic part of it. Let me ask you this. From the first time you took that leap of faith to now, and I know it's only been a few short years, how has your definition of success changed? Like what was success to you 3 or 4 years ago or whenever you got in the industry, and what does success mean for you today? Do you mind just kind of sharing a little bit on that?
Sure. Well, before I answer that question, I want to give you guys a big compliment in your guys' office. Justin Brock shared something with me. He said one of your guys' agents wanted to go independent, and he did, and he came like to get street level commissions and all that good stuff, and he came back, and he said he came back because he missed the camaraderie, he missed the team, he missed the competition. And that just speaks to what you guys are building there, and that's amazing. And I would like to say I have a little bit of that in my team. Like we do hang out, we do go, like I got 15 of my guys coming to 8%. Like we're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. So I just want to give you guys
Yeah,
a compliment.
man,
That's
awesome.
awesome, because so many agents are worried about that. Oh, like, gosh, I could go get street level and make so much money, and then they end up not, and that's just awesome. But about the success, maybe that's something I've never really like thought about. Like, what did success look like for me before and what does it look like for me now. I'll just tell you what it looks like for me now.
Sure. Go
How's
ahead.
that sound?
Yeah.
For me, I always wanted I didn't want it to be business and life. I just wanted it to be life,
Mm,
right?
that's good.
So what I did to make money also was what I loved to do, but it could also be flexible enough to where it just fit my life, right? And that's always how I thought about things. So I was always going for something flexible, and this is the perfect thing. And here's a perfect example of that. I go to Utah, I hike with my agents for 2 days. We have a great time. Then I'm there for 5 days. Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we go out and we sell policies. That's life.
Mm,
It's not life and business, that's just life. And so my definition of success is have a business that produces the income to support my life and let it not be two separate things, but let it all be one thing and let just happiness, man. Like
yeah.
where I'm at right now, like I am just every day I wake up and I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever. And
Yeah.
I think that's why I attract agents, but it's flexibility, it's freedom to do what I want, but also the ability to make the money that supports the lifestyle as well.
Yeah. No, and I can definitely tell. I can feel the passion, man. I love connecting people that are passionate because Eric Thomas, who will be at 8%, this year, I love what he says. My passion wakes me. And I truly, that's what's been like my whole life, man. I love life. I love people. I love empowering and motivating, encouraging people. So when I meet people like you, like you just started talking about it. You could feel the energy just, transferring from the screen. So kudos to you, man,
I
for
appreciate it.
that. But let me ask you this, because that's a great point that you bring up. And I'll just use ministry as a background because I have a heavy ministry background. I found that so many preachers would separate ministry and their life when the reality is that ministry is my life. Right. And I don't want to get too religious here, but it's just who I am. Right. Like, I mean, I can't tell you over the past month, I probably prayed for 4 or 5 of my Medicare beneficiaries. One lady's husband left her. One lady was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. One lady's son died. And so, yeah, the commissions are good, but I don't separate the two, right? I see Medicare or insurance as a ministry that not only can I make money to bless others and for my family, but also just to intertwine those things and just be who I am. Why do you think so many people struggle with that? Because you've incorporated both, and it sounds like you're really living your best life. Why do you think so many people struggle with that? Is it because they're not passionate about what they do, or do you have any insight into that?
So I think that's what it is people generally speaking, like probably 95% of people don't, they might say that, like you ask them, hey, do you like what you do? And they're going to say, yeah,
Sure.
but that's just surface level, right? And then you ask them, I always ask people twice, like, do you really like what you do? And that second time you ask them, they're like, like I wish this, and I don't like this, and I don't like this. Dude, you ask like that's the problem is they don't like what they do, so they separate it all. They say at 5 o'clock, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
home, I'm gonna drink a Bush Light, and
Yeah.
then I'm gonna start it all over again the
Right.
next day. And so if you can really, really enjoy it, and the thing about finding something that you really enjoy is you have to create it. And
Mm.
so a lot of people will not take that jump to where because like insurance, it's insurance, but you have to create everything that you want out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's an everything's on you type of business, especially as like, doing it the agency style. So if you have the guts to go out and create it, you can make your life as enjoyable as possible. Like insurance for me, it wasn't the money, it was like what lifestyle can it create? Now, can you make a pile of money? We
Yeah.
both know that that's true.
Yep.
Absolutely. But it was just about what can this industry lead to with lifestyle, and that's why I moved forward 3 years ago with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I love what you said. You got to create it. A lot of people think their passion is just going to pursue them, but you got to go out and pursue that passion. I call it taking massive imperfect action, right? Not waiting until everything's figured out. Just go after it and create the lifestyle. What gave you the guts to do that? Because you use the word guts. Is that something your family instilled in you? Is that part of that farm mentality, or was that something you were born with, or a mixture of all those things?
Man, I wish I actually got asked that 2 days ago, and I wish I had an answer for that. I'm just not sure. I knew I didn't want a boss. I mean, I've had bosses in the past, and, uh, I'm a terrible employee, man. Like, I'm really bad because I always tell people this, if someone tells me what to do, I won't do it, but if I tell myself to do it, I'll go do it. So I'm
Mm,
internally motivated. I never wanted a boss. I wanted that flexibility. I can't tell you one thing in my life that like gave me the guts to do it. It was probably a lot of things. My parents, they were hard on me in a good way.
mm,
They wanted me to do well. They wanted me to work hard, and we never really had the things that we necessarily like. I'm not gonna say we were poor growing up because we
sure.
were not poor.
Yeah.
Not inner city stuff. Like we were doing just fine, but we didn't have the things that we wanted to have. We didn't have the vacations we wanted to go on. We didn't like it. My dad probably works 70 hours a week,
Wow.
and I just looked at that and I looked at my life at a at a as a wee little lad, I would say, and I was like, what do I want? What do I want to create? What do I want to do? What do I want my life to look like? And I just decided that I didn't want a job, and I was like, because it took a little bit to find insurance. Like I had tried some other things,
Sure.
like network marketing, and
Yeah.
that was like they sell that hard is and it's a real thing. I couldn't. It was my fault. I couldn't make it happen. So I always had that thought in my head, and just insurance just happened to come into my life when I was 21, and the two connected. And it'll be a long, long ride in the insurance industry. I'll tell you that.
No, that's a great answer, man. And it's not for everyone, this industry. We know that, but
Totally.
definitely tell you're passionate about it and that you took a chance on yourself. And that's, I guess, really I was really asking is so many people are afraid to take a chance on themselves. They'll bet on everything else, but they won't bet on themselves. And that's why I believe doing this is so important, because as I said, there's many channels out there doing strategies, and that's great and all that. But I think it has to start with empowering and motivating and getting people to see you're a winner. You deserve to win. Quit betting on everything else but yourself. And I really feel that's one of my passions. And I'm so thankful that you're on today, because you're spitting some fire, man. You're putting some fresh wind in people's sails. You're 24 years old and you're doing what you're doing. And I think so many people are just waiting on those ideal conditions, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not good looking enough, or I'm not this enough, or I grew up this way. And those friends, listen, what he's telling you today, those are all limiting beliefs. And you have to go out and go make a decision one day, no more. I'm going to create the life that I want to live. And so with all that said, Matt, let me ask you this. And I ask this to every person that I interview. If there was one word you would use to describe yourself, what would that one word be?
Man, these questions, you're making me think.
Yeah, man. Just that first gut reaction, that first thought.
Well, you've said it a lot, but passionate. Like
Passion.
I care. I care about my agents. I do. I want, like I said, the reason we went from life insurance to Medicare, my agents were not netting the income that they needed to net, right? And so like I care about that stuff. I have friends in this business, and they were telling me, they're like, "Man, I'm not making any money." And so I was like, I take that stuff to heart. Like, yes, it may be the agent's fault, but it's really my fault. I take responsibility for that,
Sure.
and I am passionate. I care about my agents. I want them to make money. I want them to be successful. And on the client side is like, I'm passionate about my clients too. Like I see what we do. We don't take a fee. We don't charge extra. We're just helping them.
Yeah.
And the coverage that we get people on the Medicare side is phenomenal. And I it's great. I love the clients. I love the agents. I love the networking that happens as well, like this stuff, and then 8%. And I'm going to behind the agency in August and all that good stuff. Um, I'm passionate about the industry. I'm passionate about what it can do for people, and I just love it, man. I really do.
Yeah, and part B to that question you already answered was, how has that contributed to your overall success? And you can just see it from the very start of this interview that you're just passionate. You really genuinely care. And Matt, it's interesting because I was talking with Christian Brindle. We were interviewing him for the podcast the other day, and one of the things that we talked about is so many agents are chasing income, but they don't realize that if they'll just learn how to make a greater impact, and that starts with passion, right? If the more passionate I am, and if I harness that correctly, the greater the impact,
Mhm.
the income will follow. right? Some people say
Absolutely.
value that you provide. I just like the word impact, and it sounds like you're making an impact on your agents.
And I would add to that, it's not just value one time. It's not just impact one time. It's impact over and over and over again that can lead to the income. And I know you would agree with that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's not just helping one time, it's helping over and over and over again.
yep,
And then you look at your bank account one day and you're like, where'd all that come from? You know? And so like that's a huge recruiting deal. Is it's sometimes you're not going to win especially if you're like they're with an FMO and you're moving them. Now new agents is
sure,
different, but if
sure,
you're trying to like a typical agent will just not just like move their contracts just
sure.
instantly. It's just not going to happen, but it's a value like when even if an agent's not with me and they have a question like they're in a home, I pick up. If they need help with marketing, I help them. You know why? Because that leads to them probably working with me. And if it doesn't, like whatever, it's no big deal. I helped them out, so it worked. Um, but that just keep like consistency
Sure.
over time. So many people just want to get so excited
Yeah,
and do it for a
yeah.
week or a month or a quarter and not do it for 2, 5, 10 years.
No, I totally agree, man. Anyone can be a one-hit wonder in this industry. And the reality is that that work ethic, that consistency, that passion, and you know this, motivation, you have to cultivate that every day, man. Right. And you got to transfer that energy to other agents, right? And you know this as being kind of at the top of the food chain there in your agency. You have to inspire people and encourage people because us as agents, we get in our head so quickly, right? If we have a bad week, a lot of agents, even though they know this, they think they're going to have a bad month. And if they have a bad month, they think they're going to have a bad year. And you have to be consistent, even in the valleys and the storms, just as you would on the mountaintop. And it's funny, I'll share this real quickly. So I have a new agent. He was really beating himself up. And I kept saying, man, you're coming in here and you're complaining and you're grumbling a little bit. And that's part of new agents and even seasoned agents I've seen do that. And you know this, when the numbers are down, we kind of get down on ourselves sometimes. And I said, listen, learn how to be just as excited in the down times as you are when you're selling a lot of apps. Well, then the next week he bounced back and he sold 37 apps. Okay. And it was interesting because he was walking through the office with all this energy and just pumped up. And I said, now take that and harness it, because if next week it's not so well, carry it over into the next week. That's part of that consistency.
Man, just you're spitting fire too. And that is so so true. And my attitude, like if here's a low attitude, here's a good attitude,
Sure.
here's a middle attitude, like I'm just like right here all the time.
Man.
Okay. I'm not hyped up all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not down here. I'm not in the middle. I'm just right here all the time. I just stay consistent with that energy, with that perspective. So,
Mm.
okay, I don't run as many in-home appointments as I used to, and really, this week was the last time I ran in-home appointments in like 6 months. I do a lot of in-office now,
Sure.
but I'll get out there with my guys. I will, and man, a no-show happens. Hey, we're still here. A
Yep.
sale happens. Hey, we're still here. Two people kick you out of their house, or hey, we're still here. And if you can keep that consistent attitude,
Yeah.
and that comes with confidence, right? Like you got to build the confidence to get
Yep.
there and know that it's going to be okay. And to be a new agent, maybe your bills aren't being paid, whatever it might be. I could see where that could be tough, but if you can get there, life gets a lot better. And I know we're getting towards the end of this. I just want to give out a message to new agents, existing agents, veteran agents out there, of what I think about on a daily basis that helps me. And it is like, guys, if you're an agent, a prospective agent, you want to do well in this industry. Like anything that you want, you can get it.
Mm.
Anything is possible. Okay,
Yeah.
just there's a lot of young people in this industry who are absolutely destroying it and making it happen. Why? Because they believed that they could. And what I want to tell you today is that it's totally possible. If you need help with anything, I would be happy to help. Rob would be happy to help. Anybody's These people are giving people, just reach out and ask for help, and a lot of times they'll give it to you. And if anybody tells you that you're not capable. You wouldn't be able to do that. Just don't listen to them. Okay. There's been people in my life who said that what I was doing wasn't a good idea. And look what happened. Okay. So if someone's telling you it's not going to work, whatever it might be, just don't listen to them. Move on to the next person. I don't care if they're your best friend. They're not really your best friend
Yeah.
if they're telling you that stuff. And so the message today is whatever you want in life, in business, in your relationships, in your health, it's all possible and you can make it happen. You just have to have the ambition, the drive, and the consistency to make it happen.
Matt Temmen, if you had a church, man, I'd come to it, bro. You're preaching it, man. You just took us to Medicare church there. And that is true. You know, how many people give up on their dreams or settle? I love what Tim Story said last year at 8%. He said most people just settle for an almost life instead of creating the life that they really want to create. And you know this, friends, family, people that we thought were with us, they're the biggest haters sometimes. And it doesn't make them bad people. It just means that for a season, I need to purge my tribe because I need to be around people that are going the same direction I'm going or already there. You've done that, getting that 8%, getting in the room with Cody Askins, Justin Brock, and all these other guys. And it has paid massive dividends for your agency, for you. And man, listen, I'm excited for you, man. And I know you've been generous with your time today, and thank you for those final words of wisdom, because I really believe that's going to inspire someone to not give up. That's what he's saying. Don't give up on yourself and don't sell yourself short. You deserve to win. So Matt, tell us where we can find you, man. Are you on social media?
Yeah, a lot of people reach out to me on Facebook. It's just Matt Temmen. A lot of people misspell my last name, but just try to find me on there. I'm in Medicare Gurus. I'm in all the Medicare groups. You can find me on Instagram, Matt.Temmen, I think is my username. I'm not as active on there. Or you can just text me. I'll give you my number out, 573-418-9806, and I'm happy to help in any way I can.
Yeah. Well, Matt, thank you so much for being on today, man. You were bringing some serious fire today, and I know this is going to encourage somebody when we drop this in a few weeks. And I know you're a busy man, and so I just want to say this as we close today. Listen, you deserve to win. Don't settle. And as always, I want you to make it an awesome day. It's your choice to make it an awesome day. Make it an awesome day. God bless you guys. Once again, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share this with someone who you think needs to hear Matt's message today, because I promise you, man, he brought it, and I believe it's going to inspire and encourage some folks. So God bless you. We will talk to all of you soon.